here's Anthony Mackie talking about, well, you tell me.
For me, Captain America represents a lot of different things, and I don't think the term, America should be one of those representations. Like,
okay, boo that man.
He was created during World War II.
Yeah, huh?
This is his costume. It is the fucking American flag. His shield is the fucking American flag. You know what's on his forehead? A giant fucking A for America. This doesn't stand for France, right, Mark Millar? Yes. Shut the fuck up.
I mean, wouldn't one argue Captain America is supposed to be the somewhat idealized personification of America? So like we're saying America is perfectly amazing constantly. I know Gary might say that, but like there's some people, some things, some events, some areas of it that, could use some work, just like with all countries. But America's whole point is like, we're going to be a beacon of freedom, bravery, strength.
Yes.
Yeah, Captain America represents the American people, not the American government. That's what he's always represented. The ideal, not the government.
Yes, he's the what people should look up to. He's what people should he's representing and embodying the ethic of America. Truth, justice, strength, honor, all that kind of stuff. He's the embodiment. That's what people should be hoping to strive to become. Yeah. This is
when we say he, we mean Steve Rogers. By the way,
Steve Rogers, because he's Captain America.
I just want to point out
Falcon
that the John Walker in Thunderbolts is more of a Captain America than fucking Sam Wilson.
Correct.
He's read the comic book.
I agree. Thanks to their show, he certainly is. So they wrote it.
He did nothing wrong.
The guy did more with less than Falcon did. Remember, Falcon saves the day with Wakanda tech. That doesn't feel very like
with an isolationist nation based.
Yeah.
With a wall based.
Ethno state.
With an ethno state.
A xenophobic ethno state.
A xenophobic ethno state that let their fellow Africans starve and ride around camels while they're flying in fucking spaceships. But they want to stand in judgment of us.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So he's just said, I don't think it should, America should be represented. And this is what he doesn't think America should be represented in.
It's about a man who keeps his word, who has honor, dignity, and integrity. Someone who is trustworthy and dependable.
So Anthony Mackie doesn't think that America embodies or represents those values.
Man, how do you miss the point of the fucking character so hard when you're supposed to be playing it?
And yet here we are.
Well, I mean, it might get confusing. He's been to so many reshoots, he probably has no fucking idea what's up or down.
Which film am I pushing? I don't know which version.
Have we had? Is it done yet? No. And I promise you, this thing is probably it's still being edited.
Oh,
they got that runtime out there, but it's still being edited. They're still touching it up.
But I mean, the way that I interpreted this ramble was essentially that he was complaining that some people don't achieve the American dream.
No, he contradicts himself from Ryan talked about it in his video today. So his favorite superhero was green. I'm assuming it was Hulk or John Stewart. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
When he was a kid, one of the two. But he contradicts himself. So he's not green. So he saw himself in that superhero. And this is where they always contradict themselves. And this is where identity politics fails every time. If you're a black kid, you can pretend you're fucking Spider-Man all day long. You can pretend it's only limited by your imagination. And the only people telling you can't are your fucking parents or your teachers or whatever. Fuck them. That's the thing. A lot of black people like Superman. A lot of black people like Batman. A lot of black people like the Punisher. It's so fucking beneath society to go with this bullshit anymore. Mm-hmm. And now that we're in the post-identity politics era, it just looks 1,000 times worse. You're only limited by your imagination. A character is a character, and that's why they should make new original characters, or that's why they should have kept him as Falcon, the second black character in Marvel Comics, a seminal character
since Winter Soldier too.
Yeah,
he's so far back, arguably a legacy character for the whole franchise, and they've just ditched him as like a hand-me-down. Oh, well.
This is kind of like an aspect of a dream coming true. When I was a kid, all of us as actors, I believe, want to get back to that day before someone told you no, When you look out your door and you see a 5-year-old kid with a stick and he's slaying dragons to save the princess in the tower, that kid really believes there are dragons out there. That stick is really a sword and he's really trying to save that princess. And then one day somebody told him, no, there are no dragons. That's not a sword. And that princess is not there.
Pause. And now what they're telling you is there's no princess. Okay.
There is.
The princess
That
is
right.
the dragon and you can't save the princess. That's what they're fucking telling you right now. This is the era we're in.
What point is he trying to make?
I have no idea.
He's trying to make the point of you can imagine yourself as anything. Well, then why not imagine yourself as Falcon? Listen, I understand. You go on like Anthony Mackie's like doesn't come off as a total dipshit like Rachel Zegler. He's actually been pretty good so far. So I think he just stepped in it. Too many fucking press appearances, but that's how he really feels too. And maybe you shouldn't be playing this part. Maybe the people who feel that way shouldn't be making a Captain America. Listen, this is a problem the comic industry has had or Marvel Comics has had. They have always felt guilty about having Captain America and gone out of their way to separate the Captain from America. They've even called him the Captain at one point, and the soldier. You know, like they've always done this, and I experienced this at my comic shop. A couple of professors shop there from San Francisco State, and they're just like, in principle, I can't buy Captain America or Superman comics for what they represent. I'm like, all right, whatever, go buy some more Alan Moore. They've always felt guilty over it, and the same way with Superman. Why did DC get rid of truth, justice in the American way? And it's not because, we're trying to get to a global audience. No, it's because most of the people making the comics, not all, but most, fucking hate the idea of America and hate America.
Yes.
Well, I was actually about to say, hang on. It's so funny to be making these comments from his POV, and obviously probably Marvel would back it, Disney would back it, but it's just like, well, then take the name off the movie. Call it Captain Falcon. Well, that does. Go ahead. Why do you think you're using it? Like, we all know.
We all know why you're using it. Because you don't think Anthony Mackie has star power. You don't think the Falcon has enough star power, or you would call it Falcon Brave New World.
Yes.
I think recently, Frank was telling me about it. Benedict Cumberbatch has just let it be known that he's not going to be in the next Avengers, the first one, but he'll be in the one after or whatever. And it's just like, Jesus Christ, your first returning Avengers, you're not even going to have what is essentially your biggest star out of the selection. Yeah,
I was actually going to bring this up when Gary said that, because again, I need to ask the question of you both. What the fuck is the Avengers team?
Do you think that they're waiting for the success of this film
on
to decide between several plans? Like, depending on how much money this movie makes, decides just how important Captain Falcon's going to be? Because they need to figure out who's leading the team, right?
No, I think they've actually given up the ghost on that one. This is a obligatory release. What decides the fate of Marvel in the short term is Fantastic Four.
Well, sure. What I'm getting at, I already know that they know. Like, it's obvious that everyone knows this is going to fail. But just how much, right, would decide what role Falcon's going to have? I'd assume.
Oh, definitely, yes. I mean,
because who I would have thought the de facto leader of the Avengers is probably going to be Doctor Strange. But if he's not going to be in the fucking first one, like, what?
Well, I actually thought the de facto leader would be Captain America, not saying Falcon. I'm saying Captain America. But if this movie fails, I think this movie is not going to do very well. I don't think it's going to do 200 million. Like I said, I think it's probably going to do about 650. Let's say 650. I think it's going to do somewhere around 650, which I think in itself would be a disaster. But if you don't have Captain America leading the Avengers, Doctor Strange is not going to be in this film. Benedict Cumberbatch has already said that. Who the fuck is the leader?
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
You know who? No, I don't think it is. Do you know who I think they'll do?
Who?
Black Widow, White Widow. That's who I think they'll do.
Nah.
What, you think Yelena?
They'll do Yelena.
No, I'm going to go the D+ banner, and I'm trying to remember who's on it.
At the end of the
She-Hulk's no longer on it.
The Avengers.
Yeah, I think it'd be Captain Marvel. I think Falcon would have been a possible leader. Doctor Strange. So if it's not, it's got to be Captain Marvel. Here's how Avengers Doomsday works. This is how you make this movie work. You get Shang-Chi. You get She-Hulk. You get Yelena. You get what's left of the Thunderbolts. You get the Taskmistress together, right?
Ghost.
Ghost, right? Did I say Captain Marvel? And in the first 5 minutes, Tony RDJ Doctor Doom kills them all.
Yeah.
Brutally.
I've seen two characters mentioned that will account for. One would be Thor. I don't even know that Chris Hemsworth is willing to return at this point.
Yeah, I don't
we don't have great news on that because he did not enjoy Thor: Love and Thunder, which is nice to know because it was a fucking disaster. I think he said something like, until the character's going to be taken seriously, he's not coming back. So there's that. The other mention I saw was Deadpool. I don't think they would make They certainly won't make Deadpool the leader. Whether or not he's involved is another thing.
Deadpool. I mean, this is the problem with Deadpool now. Is his movie was insanely successful.
He's married to Blake Lively.
Oh, that's not a good thing right now. Should have divorced her fucking years ago, mate. But his movie's done so successfully that we're now in Joker 2 territory with Deadpool. And as much as they are going to fly, I mean, I said to MauLer, because I know MauLer didn't like the film, I said one thing, MauLer, that will 100% agree with you on is they are now going to flog this fucking horse with Deadpool. And they're going to use him absolutely inappropriately at every turn going forward. I would not be in the least bit surprised if they just suddenly out there were Deadpool's going to be in the Avengers. I would die laughing.
I think he might be. I think he's going to be in Avengers Doomsday. I think Deadpool's in it. They have to release a bunch of shit beforehand, and we saw how well that's worked for DC, right? And it does your overall brand damage, like we said before. So if you're looking for them to reach heights of Endgame, I just don't see it. I think it'll do really well. I think these movies will do really well. But where do you go from there? When you get through all the multiverse gobbledygook, what do you do?
You bank on RDJ and probably cameos through the fucking asshole with every person you've ever known from anything ever. Oof.
And post-cultural shift. That always has to be in mind now. We're post the cultural shift where the general audience is not going to put up with the shit that they put up with before. So good luck. I wish you all the luck in the world.
Nerdrotic.com. Please subscribe.